Oops. Hello.
Oh,
Can I help you?
how much for the AMG GT, the Merc?
Oh, let me check. EMG. So max 20 we got for 489. Hello?
Hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Can I take it for can I take the red one for our
Yeah.
test drive?
Hello.
You said you needed a valve worker?
Yeah.
What'd you
Are
need?
you up there now?
Yep.
I just wanted to check the price on the hot knife and to test drive the Tesla.
The hot knife is max 20 for 158. But yes, I am up
Yeah.
here.
All right, no worries. I'll shoot up there. All
Yeah,
right.
no problem.
Easy. Thank you.
Fun. Oh, it's so cold here. Ah, it's freezing. Chicago? Crazy. Dude, it's been a long time. Why are you calling me a goat? What the fuck? Dude. It's been a long time. Coughed. Yeah, I know. Did someone coughed? What? Someone coughed. At least that's what I thought I heard. Stink.
I might take that, eh?
Huh?
I might buy it,
You wanna buy it?
eh? Yeah. Yeah. Why
Alright,
not? Yeah.
let me just put this away first. Alrighty, let me invoice you the amount. Wait.
All done.
I'm gonna grab your car, alright? Did you want me to put it away or would you like to drive out with it?
Sorry?
Did you want me to put it away, or would you like to drive out with it?
I'll go out with it. It's alright.
Alrighty, I'll give you your keys. That is all yours. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Hello.
How you going?
Good, how may I help you?
I was just inquiring about on a test drive and a price on your 200 series Land Cruiser in there.
Our Land Cruiser is max 20, going for 588,000. You wanted to test drive it?
Yes, please, if I can.
The Landies are fantastic.
Yeah, I've seen people driving around and
There you go.
they look good, and I've never
You'll
been able
you'll
to
be
drive
happy
one.
with it, mate. I bought mine as like one of my first like hunting cars, and it was
Yep.
I've never gone back, mate.
What's the boot space on them, bro?
350.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good still. And what's
As
the
far
max
as like a
speed?
hunting car, yeah, fucking 220, mate.
Oh,
it,
yep,
like it goes well. The acceleration's great, handling's great, fucking everything, mate.
Yep. Yeah, no worries. I'll have a
Highly
look.
recommend.
Yeah, no worries, bro. Thank you.
Hello.
Howdy. Can I check? I was just the one you spoke to before. Can I check out the hot knife?
Yeah, the hot knife is max 20 for 158. Did you wanna...
Can I test drive it?
There you go.
Thank you.
It's kind of like a mini version of that hot rod.
Yeah.
Little hot knife. It keeps raining. Wait, where did my car go? That's right. Where the frick did my car go? What? I'll go check it out later. My car is missing. Alrighty.
That's quite nice. I'll have a look at the Tesla first, if that's all right.
Yeah, no problem.
Definitely got to do some thinking about that one.
I wouldn't even think, mate. I just buy that thing. And they don't lose value. Like they're good cars.
Yeah. You know, I'm tossing up between that and the Raptor.
What are you using it for? Because
Bit
either are good.
everything.
Both of them are very good.
Yeah. I know what the Raptors go like, but yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, have fun.
I'll
Anything
just go and have
else?
another look in
Yeah.
the showroom again.
No
Thank you for that.
problem. Alcohol.
How much is the Tesla?
This one's a max 20 going for 362.
I'll take it.
Alrighty. Let me invoice you the amount.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shoot. Don't pay that one.
That's the whole total for the car. All right, no worries.
No, it's not. Don't pay that one.
Easy
Let me give
done.
you the correct.
I'll just pay that invoice, and all right, I'll just come over here for the keys.
Dude, I'm so distracted. I heard someone cough and then my car is gone. So I don't know. I'm kind of spooked.
Oh.
Let me just erase that.
Can I get you to void my 33, and I'll
Oh, yeah.
drive that one back.
No problem. Let me give you your keys. But it was so weird, eh? I was right here, and then someone was coughing, like, just one cough. I looked, nobody. Then I looked at the other side, nobody. And then just a few seconds later, I noticed my car is gone. I know. I'm gonna go back to the garage to check it out. There you go.
Thank you.
Wait, do you mind driving me to the garage? I want to see my car.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm
Do you mind
hoping
voiding?
it's not a I'm hoping it's not a terrorist. Dude, terrorists are so annoying. Shit. Here we go. Oh. Especially the terrorists, the type of terrorists that know to take off modifications and take out your inventory.
Which garage?
Just the Pluto one. Just the blue one. I'll be right with you, sir, later. Dude, one rock and this is gonna fly.
Acceleration's pretty nutty. It's good.
It is. Have you tried the what do you call it? The Pegassi. It's another battery operated vehicle.
Yeah.
Pegassi something. It's a lot lower than this. To the point where you have to be really careful. But if you go really fast, it looks like it's hovering. Alright, you have a
Pretty
good
cool.
one.
You do.
Oh my god. Okay, my car is here. Now, let's see inside. Okay, everything seems to be there. I have no idea, eh? Everything seems to be in order. Where'd he go? Let me help you.
Oh shit. How you going?
Good.
I was just wondering, I might buy something anyways. Just the price on your LG Retro Ute.
Let me check. Apology.
And you wouldn't happen to know the boot space on that, would you?
Oh, we can bring it out and check. It is
Okay, yep.
stock. It's stock going for 678.
Okay, yep. And also one of your Ford GTs in there. Just the price on one of them.
The max, we got a max 60 going for 1.6, and then the rest max 20 is 1.532.
Okay, yep. Can I have a look at the LG Ute?
Yeah.
Oh, and one of your price on your, sorry about that. I read I read them all down. And a price on your 200 series Land Cruiser.
So the Land Cruiser we got is max 100 going for 972.
Oh, max 100. Jeez.
Yeah, it's max 100, yeah. Considering what mods it has, it's a pretty good price.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll have a look at that LG Ute, eh?
Alright, let's
Please.
did you want to test drive it as well, or?
Yes, please.
It's not too fast, but the handling is really good.
Oh, okay, yep.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, only 110.
Oi, did you need help?
Yeah, sorry, I was just after a price. You've got 2 Audi RS6s there. I just wanted to know how much they were.
The max 20 is 563.
That's the cheapest one?
The cheapest one is with no performance mods at all for 454.
454. I appreciate that. Cheers.
Yeah, no problem. Need anything else?
Also, how much would you give me this? It's max 20, no brakes.
Let me check.
Yep.
Engine trans, so it's 1220. Would be offering 293.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I'll grab that.
Okay. Page up, sell vehicle, Corvina, and then your bank number and a note.
Yep, I'll do that. Just give me a sec.
Let me just grab your funds, alright?
Yep.
And 293. Yeah. Did you paste your bank note or note? Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, thank you for that.
Yeah, you have a good one.
I wish I had enough to buy that 100 series Land Cruiser though.
How much are you short?
Oh, I'm only short like a couple 100,000, but I'll see how it go anyways if it's still there a bit later.
Yeah.
No worries, thank you.
You have a good one. What's on Twitter? It is so cold. It's because for some reason we are still in winter. We still have some winter storm going on when it's supposed to be spring by now. Ugh. Is mining a job? What? There's no mining. I wish we did. Wish we had mining. It'll be cool. Be something new. Yeah, no? Whoops. That was way too loud. Oh,
Hello, do you know how much I can sell this car for?
let me check. So engine, brakes, trans, turbo, and 20. We're offering 500k for it.
Oh, okay, nah, I'm not gonna take
Yeah,
that.
it's no problem.
Easy.
Oh my!
Let's go ahead and watch this. Coffee house crime.
Alone in the darkness of a cold night in spring, surveillance cameras captured Michaela Shinnock cycling back home. But just moments later, she disappeared off the face of the earth. What happened to Michaela? Who was responsible for her disappearance? And was there any chance she would return? Welcome back to Coffee House Crime. My name is Adrian, and today we're talking about the case of Michaela Shinnock. The surveillance footage recorded in this story helped detectives solve not just one, but two separate cases spanning across 13 years. But what exactly did they find? But before we get into it, you're here with Blue Shirt Adrian to thank CapCut for sponsoring today's video. From the same creators of TikTok, CapCut is a free all-in-one video editing app, which helps you create incredible videos. In fact, all of the following clips are made using CapCut. Besides their basic yet very impressive editing features, CapCut also provides a huge library of effects, filters, stickers, animations, and sounds. All of which are completely free. There are no features hidden behind a paywall. I've been having a lot of fun with their smooth slow motion feature. It is so easy to use. All you have to do is import your video clip, split your footage, and select your speed. And of course, to show you how powerful this app is, I've decided to use coffee beans as an example. CapCut is a powerful video editing app, and better yet, it's completely free to use. So if you'd like to create your own incredible slow motion videos, then click the link in the description below. And thank you CapCut for sponsoring us content creators. So with that said, let's dive right into today's case. Pull up a seat, grab a coffee, and sit back. This is the case of Michaela Shinnock. Here's our first case in the Pelican State. Welcome to Louisiana. When it comes to culture, Louisiana is one of America's most diverse states, being home to many African, French, French-Canadian, and modern American families. And this amalgamation of contrasting cultures has had an incredible influence on the state's food, festivals, architecture, and pretty much everything else. Here's a fun fact. But with just over 2 million American alligators roaming through the state, there are almost half as many alligators as there are humans in Louisiana. So don't go jumping into those swamps on a hot summer's day.
Alligators? Dude.
Found towards the coastline of the Deep South lies a small city named Lafayette. Originally founded in 1820, Lafayette has grown from a population of 498 to 121,000 residents. Established and occupied for agricultural purposes, Lafayette transformed to become an operational...
Hello.
Hey, how we going?
Good.
That's the way.
centre for the oil and natural gas industry. And to this day, it's kept up with modern technology. Now also a key city for healthcare, aerospace, banking and retail. It's for this reason that the University of Lafayette exists, which in return has made an $11 billion impact to the state's economy. And in the year 2012, one of those studying at the University of Lafayette was Michaela Shunnock. Michaela, nicknamed Mickey by close friends and family, was 21 years old at the time. She was the daughter of Tom Shunnock and Nancy Rowe, and born on May 21st, 1990, she had a younger brother Zach and a sister Charlene. Mickey was a senior at university, studying anthropology while still living at home with her family, and in her spare time she taught horse riding lessons to younger children. Michaela was an avid cyclist, and although she had a car, she preferred to get around the city via her bike. And with her home only 4 miles away from university, she would often cycle in for lessons. Family and friends were important to Michaela, and living in the area for all of her life, she had known a close group of friends ever since kindergarten. As May of 2012 rolled around, summer was right around the corner, and amongst the good days ahead were objectively good days too. As a senior, Mickey was coming towards the end of her studies at university, and with that said, she was ready to take on the world as a fully qualified adult. And with her birthday only a few days away, she was soon to be 22 years young. To add to the family's success, her brother Zach was also set to graduate in the coming days, something Michaela wouldn't miss for the world. Which is why on May the 19th, 2012, Michaela's family immediately knew something was wrong.
Hey, I know you don't have one in stock, but can I ask, do you know what the boot space is on a Escalade?
Let me see. I have it somewhere. I think it's 200. Maybe.
Alright. Look for something a bit bigger. That's all good. Thank you.
Alrighty. I mean, I recommend the Rump Lift Trail, 400.
Yeah, I've already got some around 5, 6,
Yeah.
less than 1,000. All
Alrighty.
good. Thank you anyway. Have a good one.
Bye.
May the 18th, 2012. It was a Friday, and like many students, this meant Mickey had plans to go out for the evening. Her brother's graduation ceremony was set for the next day, so she wasn't planning on being out for too long. After meeting up with several friends, Michaela and another friend, Bretley, split from the rest of the group. They grabbed a couple drinks at Atmosphere Bar, and afterward, they ordered food from a nearby Taco Bell, before heading back to Bretley's house on Ryan Street. The two hung out at his place for a couple hours, before Michaela decided to head back and get some rest. Living on Ryan Street, Bradley's home was only 4 miles down the road, and since she never had plans to venture far from home, she decided to cycle back instead of order a taxi. The neighbourhoods in between were relatively safe, and she didn't have far to go. At 1:45 AM on Saturday the 19th of May, Michaela left Bradley's house, heading southwest on Congress Street. But after that, nothing. As daylight slowly eroded the night's darkness away, Lafayette, and specifically the Shunnock family, woke up to a fresh Saturday morning. However, as they did, both Michaela and her bike were nowhere to be found. Her bedroom was empty. She hadn't returned home from the night before, for Michaela. But with Zach's graduation ceremony set for the early afternoon, they had no choice but to push ahead with plans. Perhaps she decided to sleep at a friend's house the night before, or maybe she'd got up early to run a few jobs before the ceremony. The family sent her a text message to meet them at the event. However, Michaela never showed up. This wasn't usual to her normal behaviour. She did of course like to go out and have fun with her friends, but she was excellent when it came to personal discipline and time management, and she certainly wouldn't have missed Zach's ceremony if she could help it. As soon as the ceremony was over, Michaela's family rushed back home to see if she'd returned, but after calling out her name, the home's four walls responded with profound silence.
Yeah,
Concerns over Michaela's safety had been
but I'm
growing
gonna
throughout
have
the
to
day,
pause it.
with her initial silence first frustrating,
Considering I
now
believe,
entirely unbearable.
are you
But
the
now
one that
she'd
has the
effectively been
interview?
missing for an entire day, and her parents knew something was wrong. So come 5 PM, they called the police to report their daughter as missing. Officers took her parents' concerns very seriously, and following the news that she'd seen her friends the night before, they started interviewing everyone who was there, eventually leading to an interview with Bradley. Bradley's story checked out, and there was no reason for suspicion with him. He told officers that she left his home at around 1:45 earlier that morning, which was of great concern to Michaela's family, as it
So
meant she
I'm
hadn't
definitely
disappeared
going
with a
to
friend.
either like pause
Instead,
or
she
mute
disappeared alone
the whole
in the
thing
dark.
because I don't
Something bad had
like
happened to her
streaming
in
the
the middle of the night.
interview on stream.
Me and Mickey took off towards my house, and I offered to get her food at a nearby Taco Bell. Brought her back. She ate it. At that point, we got 2 phone calls from friends asking, where we were, checking on us, and saying that they were going to go get food somewhere else. But at that point, Mickey decided
Why are you getting nervous?
she was still too tired. She had gotten food, and so she had wanted to go home at that point. She had gone out the night before.
Yeah.
She
I'm
didn't
not
have
gonna
anything to drink, to
stream
my
your
knowledge.
interview, dude.
She seemed pretty exhausted.
I'd rather
a little nauseous from the
have
night
it
before,
muted
so,
because
I didn't see her drink anything. I don't think
or
she
I
drank
would rather
anything.
pause the stream
Mickey's done this
only because I
you know,
don't want
every
those
night we've
like
ever
I
gone
know a
out, that
lot of
she's
people that
ridden her
watch
bike
me
somewhere. She actually rode her
also
bike
applied,
to the
and
show,
that's just
which is a bit further than
giving
my
them
house.
easy
It
access
was
to how
nothing
they're
out of
gonna
the
answer the
ordinary for her
questions.
to bike anywhere, no matter the time of day.
By the following morning, panic and anxiety had gripped those close to Michaela, as she was still nowhere to be found. Missing persons posters were handed out across the city, as her name became commonly spoken between Lafayette's many languages. In fact, almost 2,000 local residents banded around Michaela's family to support their efforts in finding her. And although a search operation to find Mickey had already grown momentum, police officers would have to wait until the following day, Monday, until they could scour all available surveillance footage. In dark irony, this was also Michaela's birthday. The investigation began by estimating her most likely route home, and from there they spread efforts to locate and access all surveillance footage. And it didn't take long for officers to find exactly what they were looking for. At 1:45 AM, a surveillance camera captured Michaela travelling home on Versailles Boulevard. She was spotted behind a white truck. And 2 minutes later, Michaela is once again spotted by a camera, riding her bike on St. Landry Street. She was still heading in the direction of home, but after this surveillance image, Michaela's digital
how much did you
trail
buy this
ended.
for? It's max 20.
Let me check. Engine trans traverse that's 20. You're looking at getting 531 for it.
Yeah, I'll sell it.
No problem. Just page up, sell vehicle Corvina, and then I'll go grab your funds after you copy paste your stuff on a note. Okay, just give me a moment. I'll go grab your funds.
Easy.
People mostly selling their cars and not selling them instead, or not buying. There you go.
Thank you.
Alrighty, you have a good one. Jesus. What the heck? I wonder if these guys need anything. No? Okay.
Officers didn't have much to go on. Although the local area had over 100 cameras, over 90% of them only monitored traffic. As a result, Michaela was only captured on 2 of these cameras. But those investigating these video files were quick to highlight a few rather peculiar details. In the surveillance footage recorded at 1:45 AM, Michaela was seen driving behind this white truck. Only 2 minutes later on Ryan Street, this truck was at first nowhere to be seen. She was alone. Until several seconds later, where this same truck was spotted driving in the same direction, but now behind her. And not even 2 minutes later, the same white pickup truck was captured by the same camera, driving in the opposite direction. Despite this oddity, police were still none the wiser on who actually owned this pickup truck. None of the cameras had a high enough resolution to identify the license plate. And at the time of her disappearance, Louisiana alone had over 3,000 registered white Chevrolet pickup trucks, and that's ignoring neighbouring states. To be honest, they weren't even sure if this truck had anything to do with Michaela's disappearance, so with that in mind, they would just have to wait for more clues.
How many times?
For the next few days, Michaela's disappearance would silently scream over the city of Lafayette, as, unfortunately, no discovery or clues were identified. It wasn't until May the 27th, 8 days after Michaela's disappearance, that some substantial evidence came in. Located 25 miles east of her last known location, 2 fishermen in the Whiskey Bay River had come across a concerning discovery. Located just underneath the bridge of the Interstate 10, they found a dark and heavy metallic object, something which obviously didn't belong in the river. Pulling it out and onto their boat, they realised it was a bicycle, and after informing the police of their discovery, it was confirmed to belong to Michaela Shunnock. The bike was covered in mud after lying in the swamp, and the back tyre was significantly bent and damaged. This sort of damage looking like a vehicle had rammed the bike from the back. With this new discovery, investigators and the city of Lafayette were extremely concerned that Michaela's body would be the next thing they find in one of these rivers. However, after days of searching, no fresh evidence came to light, which in its own regard was worrying, but at least there was a possibility that she was still alive. A few days later, another substantial clue was realised. A call had come in to report that someone they knew was acting extremely irate and paranoid over the space of Michaela's disappearance. To add to this person also went missing over the same weekend that Michaela disappeared, and after returning home, he had multiple stab wounds across his body. The man's name was Brandon Scott Laverne, and at the time, Brandon was 33. He was a Cajun, a native to Louisiana, and graduated in the year 1998. He had also served 3 years in the military, but now he was an oil rig mechanic working offshore. The tip came in from Brandon's soon-to-be father-in-law, who had become suspicious of Brandon when he claimed to be in New Orleans when he was allegedly stabbed during a mugging. But his story made no sense. he had no connections up in New Orleans. Just like clockwork, a second tip soon came in, and this one was from a local car dealership. They claimed Brandon came in after the weekend Michaela disappeared to ask for a new white pickup truck, because apparently his former truck of the same model and colour had been stolen just days prior. Making the connection, the salesman noticed Brandon became agitated when, just by pure luck, Michaela's face appeared on the TV just above him. With all of these concerning details now circulating around him, investigators were very interested to learn more about Brandon Laverne, and what they discovered was actually quite shocking. Despite having a fiancée, Brandon actually had multiple girlfriends across the state,
What the?
and to add to this, he was addicted to escort services.
What
So
the
Brandon's confirmed to be a sleazy man, but the next piece of information is much more concerning. Unfortunately, Brandon was a registered sex offender, being convicted in the year 2000 and serving 8 years in prison. Officers decided to explore Brandon's story of being mugged on the weekend of Michaela's disappearance. And after interviewing the gas station owner of where he was allegedly mugged, they found it to be a complete lie. He was never there. So next, they decided to investigate the story of the stolen truck. Brandon claimed that just a few days prior, his truck had been stolen while visiting Texas. And in response, police contacted the local sheriff's office to where his vehicle had been stolen. To their surprise, they learned that Brandon's truck had actually been found. It was discovered in a field, burned beyond recognition. The fire was so hot that it incinerated almost everything within. This wasn't good news for investigators. They could no longer link Brandon's truck to Michaela's death through DNA evidence, but at the very least, they were able to identify the truck via its license plate. With Brandon's license plate now at their disposal, officers checked all local surveillance cameras once again, and what they found was of great interest. At approximately 5:15 PM on the evening shortly before Michaela's disappearance, a surveillance camera captured Brandon's truck in the local area. And not only had it recorded his license plate, but also the contents within the back of his truck, this revealing a 4x4 post and a cooler box. And when crashing this image against the surveillance footage of Michaela when she was cycling home, surprisingly, that 4x4 and cooler box was still apparent. To add to this growing pile of concerning information, investigators learned that Brandon had checked into a nearby hospital not even 1 day after Michaela's disappearance. These of course related to his mysterious stab wounds. Police finally believed they had enough evidence to prove Brandon was responsible for Mickey's disappearance, but with no sign of Michaela or a body, there were obvious risks in arresting him. Regardless, officers felt they had to do something to push this case forward, as no fresh evidence or clues were coming their way. So on July the 5th, 17 days since Mickey disappeared, he was arrested during a traffic stop. They could actually do this as Brandon had failed to register as a sex offender back in the year 2000. Not even his fiancée knew. They wasted no time in questioning him over Michaela, in which he refused to answer any questions, and instead asked for an attorney. Brandon Laverne was eventually charged by a grand jury for first-degree murder and aggravated kidnapping. But this wasn't easy, and they would have to rely on circumstantial evidence as Michaela's body had never been found. That wasn't until August the 7th, 2012.
A Lafayette TV station is reporting that police have discovered human remains, and the report indicates the body may be that of Mickey Shunick. The 21-year-old disappeared from Lafayette back in May. Now officials in that community have not made any statements about this discovery, but KLFY is reporting a body was found today in Evangeline Parish, and police are on scene at an undisclosed location conducting a search that is related to the Shunick case. Back in July, police arrested 33-year-old Brandon Scott Laverne and charged him with Shunick's murder, even though a body had yet to be found. He has pleaded not guilty to the charges. More information on that.
After a total of 80 days missing to the world, a body had finally been found near an unpaved road in Evangeline Parish. Being tipped by an anonymous individual, officers followed the given information, and what they found was Michaela's body buried near a small cemetery. She was found alongside her own jewellery and clothing. Along their discovery came the irrefutable realisation that Michaela was never coming back home. Oof. Although up until this day our conclusion didn't look good, there was at least a glimmer of hope that Mickey would be found safe and well. Alas, the final outcome was unforgiving and cold. She had been stabbed multiple times, with a final gunshot to the head. And so began the long road of devastation and recovery. With Brandon in custody and Michaela's body now discovered, all investigators needed to do was connect their suspect to their victim. But that was proving difficult. In order to speed up the process, they requested permission from Michaela's family if they could strike a deal with Brandon. With the state of Louisiana accepting the death penalty, Brandon would be legally fighting for his life. And officers knew this terrified him. They offered a plea deal, confess to the murder of Michaela, and be spared the death penalty. And what officers got back in return was much more than they expected. Brandon admitted to murdering Michaela Shunnock. Even worse, he admitted to murdering another young woman in 1999, only 1 year before his previously convicted charges. Disappearing in July of 1999, Lisa Pate was a mother of 2 who was eventually found underneath floorboards in October of 1999. And unfortunately, the condition of her body was too poor to determine who had killed her or how. As for Michaela's story, it turns out that she felt fully for her life. Of all of the cases I've covered here on Coffee House Crime, I don't think I've ever heard of a victim fight back this hard. It's obvious what Brandon was after when he approached Mickey on the 19th of May 2012. At 1:46 AM, after stalking her in his truck, he rammed the back of her bike, resulting in the back tyre being crushed as Mickey fell to the floor. Before Brandon could even manage to get to Michaela, she grabbed her mace, and when the timing was right, she sprayed his face with it. Let me emphasise the difference in size between these two. Mickey was only 115 pounds or 52 kilos, where Brandon himself was over 230 pounds or 105 kilos. He was over twice her weight.
Damn.
But regardless, Mickey was able to grab the knife off Brandon before stabbing him several times across his arms and hands. Unfortunately, Brandon managed to regain control. He managed to stab Michaela several times, and as a result, she became motionless. Brandon then drove Michaela's motionless body to a secluded area 40 minutes away, where he then planned to dump the body. When suddenly, Michaela jumped back into action. She lunged forward at Brandon with his knife once again, stabbing him several times in the back and chest. But tragically, Brandon had a handgun. He retaliated by shooting Michaela in the head. She died instantly. Brandon claimed that the entire event was an accident.
Dude,
he was
accident
apparently drunk while he was
ass.
driving and had accidentally hit her. And according to him, the situation then escalated when she maced him in the face. But given his history, this is very likely a fabricated story.
When I looked up and she was right there in my grill, and I slammed my brakes and I hit her. And I was worried because I was drinking stuff, I was addicted to and I had a gun in the truck. I was like, man, I wasn't worried about so much her hitting her. I was worried more about, we had caught that gun, And we started arguing back and forth, and I started getting mad. And I guess that's when she started getting spooked. She reached down and grabbed it phone. I'm handcuffed. That's when I grabbed the knife and I said, don't call the cops. I said, I ain't playing with you, just put down the phone. And she just kind of started, she was like staring at me. I started stabbing her. I tried to stab her, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times, and I caught myself.
Dude, that's bullshit.
What happened? She popped up and stabbed me dead in my chest. I hollered, and I shot. I shot one time, with the gun, I jumped out of the truck and I was hollering.
With Brandon's confession, it's obvious what happened in court. He was eventually found guilty of the murder of Mickey Shunnock and Lisa Pate, and as a direct result, he was given 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole. There is a lot to feel when it comes to cases like these. The more I research and investigate, the more connection and sadness I feel towards the victim, and the more frustration I feel towards the story. In Mickey's case, I am so proud of how much and how quick she fought back. From what I know of her, she was a real fighter. For all the braveness and valiance that Michaela had, was equally a kind and loving young woman. And at the beginning of her adult life, she was ready to put her education behind her and begin her own independence. Known as someone who had no enemies, family and friends remember her as a positive, gentle soul. And that's the hardest part. It's remembrance instead of current experience. Following Michaela's death, a memorial was set up in her honour. The ghost bike of Michaela Shunnock erected in the place she was attacked by Brandon. Michaela's family have created a website in her honour, which is also designed to spread awareness of local registered sex offenders. And her Facebook page, which at this point is over 30,000 members strong, is dedicated to raising awareness of other members of public who are currently missing. Coming up to 10 years since her death, it's hard to imagine where Michaela would be now. She would be 31 years old, professionally established, maybe have a partner and maybe with kids too. And as for Brandon, his days now are exactly the same as they have been for the last 9 years. He is forever in a continuous loop of boredom while he rots behind bars. It looks like Brandon also has a writer-prisoner account. So if you do want to message to tell him how much of a monster he is, feel free to do so. According to Brandon, he's the only person in America to be sentenced to life in solitary confinement. But honestly, who cares how he feels? Oh yeah, he also has the audacity to say, most of what you will read about me online is lies. So if you want to meet the real person and not the fictional monster, I'd love to introduce myself to you. To be honest, I'm not sure what truly defines a monster, but if murdering 2 women isn't an appropriate classification, I'd say you're setting the bar too high. That brings us to the end of today's case, folks. Thank you so much for watching another video today by Coffeehouse Crime. If you found this interesting or learned something new today, then please remember to like the video and subscribe if you haven't yet. What do you think of the case of Michaela Shunnock? Please share your thoughts in the comments down below. And thank you to Jamie Elliott for recommending this case. This story was both heartbreaking and touching. That's all for now, folks, but I'll see you again real soon in the next one. Until that moment arrives, though, look after each other. Goodbye.
This rain. Oh. I'm good. Just going through YouTube and watching like true crime stuff, and shooting turns into murder. Let's go.
She was described as the love of his life, an elemental force that could be felt in the wind. But tragically, these are the words spoken by her very own killer. My name is Adrian, and welcome back to Coffeehouse Crime. Today we're heading down to South Africa to look at the case of Jade Paniotu, who was found dead in the year of 2015. This is a very sad story about a married woman who wasn't even aware of the love triangle that she was locked into. But just before today's case, I wanted to let you know that I post both solved and unsolved cases here on a weekly basis. So if true crime is your kind of thing, then please consider subscribing to Coffeehouse Crime. So pull up a seat, grab a coffee and sit back.
I wish I had coffee.
This is the
right
case of Jade Paniotu.
I don't want coffee at the moment. Yeah, this rain, man. All
Today's
the
case
hunters
takes
are
us
crying
south
right
of the
now.
equator to South Africa. More specifically, the city formerly known as Port Elizabeth. I say formally because earlier this year, in February 2021, Port Elizabeth was renamed to Kverga, the Xhosa name for Bakens River. Officials changed the city's name, along with other cities in South Africa, to bring back dignity to the black communities living in cities with former colonial names. But with all events to this case happening prior to 2021, and for my ability to pronounce things right, I'll be using the city's former name, Port Elizabeth. Apart from a wide range of coastal attractions that bring both domestic and international travellers to Port Elizabeth, the city also offers a huge selection of eateries, shopping venues, and bars. It's also the only city in South Africa to boast the Big Seven within its boundaries. That means you can find all of South Africa's largest animals here. The whale, shark, leopard, lion, buffalo, rhino, and of course, elephant. The city of Port Elizabeth sports a population of 1.2 million, up 200,000 since the year of 2004. And in the year of 2004, one of those living in Port Elizabeth was Chris
Did the light just go out?
an 18-year-old man.
Oh.
He had just about finished his
Just
education at
foggy.
school and was looking to kickstart some efforts into his father's small business empire. His father owned several stores around Port Elizabeth, including Bambi Snack Bar, located on Market Street. Chris himself was described as a hard and dedicated worker, with a keen business sense. It was during the year of 2004, while at a friend's gathering, that a pretty face caught his eye. He met Jade Ings, who was also 18 at the time. The two started talking, and almost immediately they hit it off. The two began dating and soon after fell in love. Jade was described as a fun-loving, sweet-natured young woman. She had a lot of love to give, a trait that would inspire her to one day become a teacher. And the next year in 2005, she enrolled into university to take up a degree in teaching. Throughout the next few years, Jade's and Chris's relationship would grow, as did Jade's academic knowledge and Chris's business. During her time at university, Chris opened both his first and his second business. He opened a local grocery store in Algoa Park, commissioning it to be part of the OK Grocery franchise. And his second business, pretty much right next door, was a restaurant and cocktail bar that he created.
Dude. I know you're lurking, Nick. I know you're lurking. I could see you in the list. Oh man, that's funny. You thought I'd be distracted by watching my true crime? Hell no. There's like no customers up here yet. Most customers that come in, they just want to sell their car.
Creatively named Infinity. Fast forward to the year 2011 and things were looking more serious for the young professional couple. Not only had Jade graduated from university, but now she also had a job lined up.
This is South Africa, he said?
And even bigger
I
news,
didn't
but
imagine
Chris had
South
finally
Africa to be
proposed
like
to
that.
Jade, the two now officially engaged. Saying that, they moved in together. But things didn't stay sweet for long, because unknown to Jade, Chris was actually having an affair. Back at his grocery store, about 2 years prior, Chris had hired a younger woman who went by the name of Chanel Coots. And while at first things were strictly business between the two, by the year of 2012 that had changed. The two started a secret love affair, and while they'd keep it secret, there were subtle signs of affection that colleagues would suspiciously pick up while at work. In secrecy, the two would spend nights together at local hotels, and eventually, during the nights that Jade was away, Chanel would even stay at his place.
This was like that
It's not
Colorado
known
case.
exactly how we found out, but a few months into the affair, Chris's father, Costa Paniotu, became aware of the situation. Costa was enraged to find out the news. By now, he had known Jade for over 8 years, and he loved her very much as a future daughter-in-law. She was loyal, hard-working, and kind, and he saw the enormous potential in her. It was on this basis that Costa threatened his own son, that he would disinherit him if he carried on with the affair, or if he left Jade for Chanel. Costa was a successful businessman within Port Elizabeth, and to Chris, this was his lifeline, because one day Chris would be sure to inherit all of his father's hard work.
So he has
after
to
their
sell.
messy argument had ended, Chris reassured his father Costa that he was no longer seeing Chanel. But this was actually untrue, and in further secrecy, the two continued on to have their affair. All in the meantime, Jade had no idea what was going on. Fast forward to the year 2013, and it was finally time. In June, Chris and Jade officially tied the knot, the two formally becoming Mr. and Mrs. Paniotu. From the outside, Chris and Jade were a couple that
She's
many
so
envied.
pretty.
A strong
Why
businessman
would you cheat
and
on
a
her?
loving teacher. It was, however, during this period that circumstances outside of their marriage were changing. It was good news for Jade. She was hired as a teacher to work at Rubeck College in the nearby area
She's
of
so
Oitanage.
pretty.
But for Chris, his situation was going the other way. Strong local competition as well as lesser appetite than expected meant that profits at his grocery store and his cocktail bar were not looking so healthy. In fact, financial figures were even in the red for some months. The shaky financials would cause Chris further grief, as technically he was looking after 2 women at the same time. He'd treat Jade to a few luxuries, but the majority of his gift money was going to his mistress on the side, Chanel.
Wait, that's his mistress?
This included a Ralph Lauren handbag, an expensive watch,
That's his mistress.
GHD straighteners, a large contribution to a new
Wait,
car, and
that's
a
his
reptile.
mistress versus his wife?
And don't forget about those nights
no
at hotels either.
competition, likely.
Chris was even buying gifts for Chanel's best friend, Cap, in order to
Dude.
keep her sweet and therefore remain quiet about the affair. All of these details were greatly contributing towards Chris's crumbling bank account. Nevertheless, he wanted to make things work, and so he added even more hours to his already busy work schedule. But as the years ticked by from 2013 to 2015, Chris became less and less available to his own wife. He was still putting all the effort in to try and get his business back off the ground. And his extra reason to be at the grocery store was still there too. Jade felt this, and very quickly
She's
she
so
became a lonely
pretty.
woman.
Dude!
Confiding in her friends, she felt Chris had no time for her. He was always out of the house, and emotionally, he
How
was
can he
absent
cheat
from home.
on that with that?
She would normally manage to force
Oof.
Chris to come home for dinner before he headed back out to work, and even made excuses to drop by and say hello to him in the evenings. But it wasn't enough, and by September 2014, she seemed to be at breaking point. On September the 21st, she wrote a letter to herself that described her feelings. Condensed, she wrote, "All I ever wanted is to be loved, fully and completely. I know that love is not what it seems to be in the movies, but I don't feel the love I dream about. I am jealous when I see people living the life I so desperately long for. I want a normal life, a husband that comes home at a normal time, has a normal job, and makes time for his wife and family. Somebody that doesn't hide, lie, or cover up, always respects and puts his wife first. I don't know if I can live like this. I don't know how much more I can take. Why can't I have the normal happy life? Why am I not the apple in my husband's eye? Why does he hide so much from me, and why is it impossible to communicate with him? I feel as though I do not have a heart. It is torn and shredded and full of holes."
Dude.
The letter is enough to describe how Jade really felt about her own marriage. She loved Chris a lot, and all she wanted to do was spend time with him. And this was no secret either, because everyone around Jade and Chris knew that she was lonely. In fact, when Chris asked Jade's best friend what she wanted for her birthday, she replied with, "She just wants to spend time with you, Chris." Chris did understand the trouble, but he was too busy trying to keep his businesses afloat. He also had other things on his mind, more specifically, another woman. And then, in the early morning of the 21st of April 2015, Jade Panayiotou disappeared. The 21st of April 2015 was a Tuesday, a usual day for Jade to work. She was expected into a job at Rubeck College that day, located about 40 minutes by car from her home in Stellan Glen, just west of Port Elizabeth. Jade would usually car share with her colleague and best friend Shri Swanepoel into work, and the plan today was exactly like it had been hundreds of times before. Jade would walk outside her home at 6:15 in the morning and wait outside her gated community for Charisse to pick her up. But when Charisse arrived, Jade was nowhere to be found. Calls to her mobile phone went unanswered, and a doorbell to her house led to a dead end too. And when the property was eventually checked with no luck, serious concern started to slowly boil over. It was in this moment that Charisse finally called the police. By 10 AM, a missing persons alert was posted on social media, and soon the news of her disappearance started to spread
More
too.
like a murder alert.
Police would launch a massive search that very same day, including the use of the flying squad and several canine units. But as the sun set, they were still none the wiser on her whereabouts. Jade's family would offer 50,000 rands as a reward to any information that could lead to her safe return, and by nightfall that reward had tripled to 150,000 rand. Many people took to social media to help try and find Jade. The hashtag #FindJade started to trend, and throughout the night that would be used extensively. But just as search efforts began to pick up for the first full day of searching at around 10 AM, tragic news came in. An officer reported to his team that, with the assistance of his canine unit, he had found a body.
Oof.
It was located in a bushy area close to a gravel road just outside of Quanabushle. And sadly, forensics would quickly confirm that the body did belong to that of Jade Panayotu. She was fully clothed and had been shot 3 times, 2 to the back and 1 to the head. Her bank cards, along with her jewellery, were all missing. Family members who had rushed to the scene were devastated to hear the news. Friends and family were in tears, Jade's sister almost collapsing, and Chris was there too. When the news of her death broke out to her school, both students and colleagues mourned the loss of their kind, nurturing teacher. Heartache extended far and wide throughout South Africa, and with the case's coverage over Twitter and Facebook, pain was felt at an international level too. But one of the greatest and most concerning questions about her death was still to be answered. Why did Jade have to die? Considering the nature around her death, it didn't make much sense. While it was learned that her possessions were taken off of her body, murder is quite an extreme precaution to take for this kind of crime. And the very next day, on the 23rd of April, police released 2 surveillance images of a person of interest. It was quickly learned that on the day of Jade's death, her credit cards had been used on 2 separate occasions, and the ATM cameras picked up these 2 images. But no one close to Jade knew who they were. Exactly 1 week after her death, family and friends of Jade laid her to rest at Mater Dei Catholic Church in Newton Park. Her students were part of the hundreds of people who came to express their sorrows and their goodbyes. All of her loved ones were in attendance, and the funeral's emotions peaked around Chris's moving and poetic tribute to his deceased wife. But this is where things start to look a little shaky for Chris. The tribute that he had made for his wife Jade was good, really good. In fact, it was so well made that it was a little strange that he managed to polish off something so well during his time of despair. And that's because the script wasn't actually his. In fact, at the time, if you went on to Google and typed in wife eulogy, it would come up with another tribute by Charles Atkins to his own deceased wife. And the similarities are painfully lazy. While this was a very lousy thing for Chris to do, it didn't necessarily mean that he was guilty of anything. He could have just simply been too upset to make his own script. Saying that, it did raise eyebrows around him and his own authenticity to his own wife. But little did he know that there were other things going on in the background, and hour by hour, the noose around Chris's neck was tightening. One day before the funeral, police actually arrested a man in connection to Jade's murder based off a tip from an undisclosed source. The man arrested went by the name of Lutundo Sioni, who just happened to be the bouncer to Chris's own nightclub. Allegations had started circulating that Lutundo may have helped orchestrate the crime. And while in custody, Lutundo must have got cold feet. He crumbled, confessing everything to police. He claimed that Chris had asked him to hire a hit on his own wife, and while Lutundo wouldn't do it himself, he did know a friend or two. The tip led to a massive breakthrough in the case, but they still had no evidence linking Chris to the murder. They needed something more to prove that Chris wanted his own wife dead. This is a very heavy accusation, and so they hatched up a plan. They decided to release Lutundo from custody under one special condition. He would now have to carry out an undercover mission and secretly record Chris and get him to admit that he was involved in his wife's own murder. In response, they would reduce his sentence, and so on that note, Lutundo agreed. He called Chris the next day, and it worked.
I've been living like a rat now.
Why?
I don't know. Like, Babala called me and then he told me like police were there at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything now is changing now.
But why are the police after you?
That's why I don't know. I think there's an informer somewhere somehow. You know.
Where they're going to?
I don't know. They didn't tell me. Because I even changed my SIM card. You know.
Yeah, but you need to change it again now.
Yeah. After
you need to stop phoning me.
Yeah. After this, I'm gonna stop. Like you.
Don't phone me or SMS me.
So what's going on, boss?
I don't know, bro.
It's this thing. I didn't see that it's gonna be like this.
Yeah.
How much is this?
Plus minus 5.
How much is
What did they ask you?
Fuck them questions.
Hey?
Fuck them questions.
Tell me.
Nothing serious, boys.
Did they ask you if you were involved?
Yeah, sort of something like that.
So what did you say?
Yeah, no, I lost their way, bro. Those are the stupid ones.
So where did they take you to? Did you take your phone anywhere?
That
No,
phone?
the other phone.
Yeah, I destroyed.
Did you?
Yeah, he told me to destroy it. Then I destroyed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the SIM card and everything.
Everything. I'm not using.
Did you throw it away?
Yes. I'm not using Vodafone now. You see.
Okay.
I'm using this phone.
So they didn't ask you anything about me?
No.
Or if I'm involved with anything?
Yeah, but I haven't. They asked you.
Eh?
Haven't they asked me yet?
Yes, they asked me, but now you've been phoning me all day and they're tracing my phone, don't they?
So
I have to tell them you phoned me. Otherwise they're going to think I'm involved.
Yeah.
So you need to destroy that phone now. The phone and the SIM card, my boy. Both.
That of the police that are coming to me.
I'm not sure my life, I didn't say it, but they're obviously seeing who I've been phoning. They are tracking my phone and every number I phoned. They've investigated my family too.
Well, what is you did?
Somebody said something.
Because this is like a murder thing now. It's not like a robbery or something.
But that's what I said to you. It became a kidnapping and then a murder instead of just making it a robbery outside the house.
Yeah, Johnny, shit.
You need to go hide in Jeffries for a while and keep quiet. So I'm going to say you must destroy your phone now, ne?
Yeah.
And the SIM card, and I'm going to say you told me you're going to East London. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be okay as long as they never know about us, Tando. There's about 5 there. Sort yourself out. Because I'm all out now. This thing's cost me a lot of money. The family's also looking at me. Yes. Okay.
This thing is not a little thing.
No, because these boys made it big. I told you to let them do it outside the house and take the bags and the rings, and then they didn't take the watch or anything.
They just left everything.
They just left everything there. You see, so it looks like a hit now. So they are after me, and that's why I can't meet you just like this in front of people, Tando. Okay. Cheers.
Police arrested Chris 2 hours later that night. Events around Jade's case would continue to unfold, and eventually highlighted 3 more suspects in the case: Sizwazake Bamazonke,
Oh shit.
Sinatemba Nanembe, and Solane Sebeko. And while Chris denied any involvement to his wife's death, the alleged story was that he had asked his bodyguard to organise a hit, who then hired 3 hitmen to do the work. Chris gave the instruction to do it early in the morning at 6:30, while Jade would be waiting for a colleague to pick her up for work. He requested that they stage the murder as if it were a robbery, by contracting the kill right outside the gates of Stellan Glen, and stealing all of her possessions from her body. The date for Jade's contract was originally set to be 1 day earlier, on the 20th of April 2015. But while Chris's hitmen were mustering up their courage for the job, Jade's friend Charisse actually appeared, and so they decided that they'd do it another day. Apparently this delay enraged Chris a lot. He wanted his wife dead as soon as possible, and so he demanded that it happened the next day. On the 21st of April 2015, Jade appeared outside her community gates shortly after 6:15 AM, and unknown to her at the time, the 3 hitmen were there too. They were in a hired vehicle just several meters down the road. The trio decided to change their plans along the way, however. They didn't want any witnesses of the murder. So instead of killing her on the spot, they would kidnap her, take her somewhere private, and then complete their contract. Jade found herself in the back of a hired vehicle, where she was then driven 20 miles northwest to a location outside Quanabouchle. The drive would take about 30 minutes to get there. She was then dragged out of the car and shot 3 times, dying instantly upon the 3rd bullet. The killers then drove to a nearby ATM and withdrew 1,500 rand, the equivalent of $100. A second attempt was made again later that day, but due to a PIN being incorrectly entered, payment was withheld. both attempts capturing one of her killers on camera. The magistrate's court would trial all 4 men together, excluding Chris's bouncer, with thanks to his plea bargain. But mysteriously, before the trial would even begin, one of Chris's hitmen would suddenly die, leaving the remaining 2, along with Chris, to face the judge. Strangely, Sizozake Vamazonke, who had died while on leave from prison to be in hospital, had previously made claims that he was being assaulted by police officers in prison. But police denied such allegations, and later he died after slipping into a coma. His death would stop nothing, however, because on the 11th of October 2015, the trial against Chris and his 2 hitmen would begin. Prosecutors argued that the motive for the murder was that Chris could not keep up with paying for both his wife and his mistress, and so his wife had to go.
Oh, stupid.
Meanwhile, Chris's defense would argue that he had a heart of gold, and he would never do such a thing. In fact, he had apparently just bought Jade and himself a new home, so why would he kill her? The
I bet
motive
you
is
bought that for
supposedly
his
just not
mistress.
there. Chris's mistress, Chantal Coots, would also take the stand at trial, and spoke about the expensive gifts that Chris had given her. She also confirmed that she had slept over at Chris's townhouse when Jade was away, and of their cheeky nights together at local hotels. But the secret recording of Chris took the spotlight for incriminating evidence, and if that wasn't enough, it was discovered that phone calls between Chris's bouncer and his hitmen were made seconds before GPS coordinates of the hitmen's phones landed outside Jade's property. ATM mugshots were also picked up, as were the GPS coordinates of the hired vehicle, which matched the path that would have been taken between Jade's home and the location of Jade's body. Following this, along with a myriad of other details, on the 2nd of November 2017, which was also Chris's 31st birthday, Chris Panayiotou was found guilty of the murder of his wife, Jade Panayiotou. It was also learned that Chris was in the process of acquiring a 2.2 million rand loan, which would mean that it would be impossible to keep both his wife and his mistress happy. The judge also concluded that Chris regretted marrying Jade, and he killed his wife to cut down on his ever-increasing debt.
Wow.
As a result of his heartless and brutal actions, the judge showed Chris no mercy, and sentenced the man to life in prison. Sinatemba Nanembe also received life in prison for Jade's murder, and Solani Sebeko also received 15 years in prison for conspiracy to commit murder. Chris's bouncer Latundo Sioni still awaits his full sentencing. And regardless of how long each involved man now faces, it could never be as bad as Jade's demise, who must have been terrified in her final moments, before eventually being killed behind the motives of abandonment, betrayal, and greed. Jade was all around a good person. She was described to have a heart of gold, and her dedication to her causes and people were humbling and sincere. She was feisty, enthusiastic, and loyal. Described by one of her students as a limited edition, she had a positive attitude, a bright personality, and a beautiful smile to match. She deserved so much more in life. And in the end, it was her very own husband that sold her entire life for a bounty of 80,000 rand, the equivalent of about $5,500. 2 years later, on December the 9th, 2019, Chris's father Costa Panayiotou, who was against Chris's affair, was tragically gunned down and killed outside of his own shop. Costa was shot multiple times while closing up his shop for the night, and then his car stolen. And while his murder doesn't seem linked to the case of Chris and Jade whatsoever, it's another awful and unnecessary death to this story. This was another really tragic case to cover, one that has left 2 families entirely destroyed, all down to the actions of a selfish man who put his own pride and money above his wife's life. I hope Chris Panayiotou spends the rest of his life behind bars, full of regret and sorrow.
Alright guys, I'm going to stop the stream here, because I'm going to be doing some things that I don't want to be on the stream. No, nothing bad like that, just some interviews. That. Oops. I'm supposed to search up FDG. Who is FDG? Let's see. Is Ruthless? Oh, Weirdo in the Grass. Let's go. Let us raid Weirdo in the Grass. She been streaming. Ooh. let's go ahead and raid. We're doing the grass. Next time, guys.
You got fired? Really?
I missed toe by one, and then I got fired.
One? Oh my lord.
Yeah,
okay.
They don't do anything about that.
Yeah. Fair enough. What's today? Friday. I should go to work actually. I think I've got one I need to do. No, I trust her. She's good. Oh, hey Raven, how are you, love? Oh my god, thank you for the raid. I appreciate you so much. How are you, miss?
But yeah,
We've got a bit of a buggery here. Oh no, they got it over. What's that?
I'm going up to Pluto to get my Glendale.
Oh, nice,
stuff
nice.
In it. I'm gonna give away the stuff I'm not gonna use because.
Yep. Why don't you just sell it? What's the hammer? It's because I do stupid shit all the time. You use the hammer to whack me with it. That's what you use it for.
Like if you need hunting rifle bullets or
Oh, hang on a second. What was that?
the hunting rifle bullets if you need any.
Oh yeah. I'll grab
I have
those.
a lot.
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you,
Boxes
Tia.
and ammo and then I'm just gonna go up to Pluto and grab what's useful and then come back down and go around everywhere.
Alright, sweet. Alright, should I follow you then to get the bullets or?
Where are you actually hunting?
That way?
That way?
Wait, is it
Pluto.
Polito, to hunt at Polito.
It's got so much people on Pluto.
Pluto shit.
No, but yeah, no, I've got the dog, and he helps me, and I don't like the rabbits how they're all bunched up. Where did you get this hammer? I got it from the streamer thingy. That you know, like how you do the add-ons and whatnot. I got it from there. It's cool, isn't it? It's so because I used to play Fortnite and I used to do stupid shit all the time. So people used to, out of frustration, they'd use it to whack me with it. I obviously can't feel it here, but I mean it helps release the pressure. You know what I mean? And it'd be good for you with the Dannies because you can use a hammer. They can whack the Dannies in. Alright, so do you want me to follow you to Polito and I'll grab the bullets off you? Did you want money?
It's just a Pluto, no, I'm all good. It's just a Pluto, grab.
Yeah, alright, well I'll get my car out.
Easy, I'll get mine too.
You can do whatever you want over that way. Like, within the year. Can you put some clothes on? You're making me feel uncomfortable.
He had clothes on.
Well, why'd you take them off for?
I think they got blown away.
Breaking the glass. It is satisfying, isn't it great?
He needs some tattoos.
Yeah, honestly, I do. I don't know where the fuck to go.
Oh, to a tattoo shop. So pull out your phone, right? Pull out your phone. Have you got a phone?
Do you know the tattoo shops that on?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you play the normal Grand Theft Auto?
Okay.
Yeah, it's just those tattoo shops.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I know that game.
Yeah. I was gonna show you. There's an easy way to find things in your maps on your phone.
No.
Is that a local?
That is a local.
So you've been. Oh, what the heck? Hang on. 2 secs, guys. 2 secs.
Anyone else see a hunting rifle over there?
No, I'm good. Alright, I'll get my car.
Alright, same here.
Oh, shit. There we go. I will. Oh, shit! I'm so sorry. Are you okay? I will. Thank you, Rick. Enjoy your sleep. Get some rest. I mean, you must be exhausted. It's late for you over there, isn't it? Ah!
You...
Oh, fuck my fucking phone. Hello? Yeah? What's up? No, he's not. No, I don't.
Maybe 60 grand, potentially. Up in Valhalla, CMG. Travel there. Let's meet at the garage at Pluto.
God. That's frustrating. Alright, where are we going? Do you want me to follow you?
Just go to the Pluto.
Alright, easy. Okay. Should I get my dog? I should probably get my dog first. No, I'm still in C for a couple of hours, just don't want to stream business interviews. Oh, fair enough. Actually, I made a character and applied for CMG, so hopefully, just so she can just do her own thing so I don't have to stress, you know? This is where I get my dog. Okay, my dog. There's George. Yes, it is Amanda. Yes, no. The girl who applied for the job is called Kenya Swallows. That's the name of the girl that applied for CMG. And this is Amanda, the person I'm playing now. Like, this is Amanda. She's a 24-year-old country girl from 24. You get it. See, some people go, what? Yeah, this girl is 24 and she comes from Grapeseed. I know, it's good, isn't it? It's good. My police person is what's my police person? Her name is Tatiana, but I have an EMS who you know, which is Annie position. I'm freaking lost. Where am I going? I'm going to Polito. Yeah, so Kenya Swallows will hopefully be working at CMG. She's got to do the interview and all that sort of shit yet. She'll pass her background check, not a problem, because, you know, I don't do anything hardcore quality anyway. So how was your stream? Where did you work today? Were you at Flywheels or Valhalla? You get my car repaired. Oh no, it's all fixed.
Have you guys been helped already?
No, we're waiting for someone to. No, we were gonna sell the car, but old mate said just wait for him because he's doing an interview.
Okay.
Ooh, hey. Oh my god, I'm so nervous right now.
You'll be fine.
Hello. Oh my god.
Hello.
Hey, man, we're his future parents after
Yep.
an hour or so.
Yeah, I'm here for my interview.
Wait a minute. Is he also part of Saints?
No, not currently, no. Like, I'm...
he's in the active roster.
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Oh,
He's inactive.
okay. Alright, let's go.
You should have wore something nice.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I know you've intimidated the poor lady. Now he's not going to get the job.
Oh, wow,
It's
this is...
all your fault.
It's small. It's small. Especially this office is very tiny.
Oh, wow, it is.
Because this was his office. This guy. In the middle.
Oh, Mose. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. It's right. I haven't seen, like... Is it because, like, the city and stuff was cooking? Is that why they, like, moved it up here?
No. Well, they've been wanting to move the businesses up here for some time.
Yeah, okay.
Alrighty, if we could do our voices to a little, like, to whisper.
Alright.
Alrighty. If you could just state your name so I know who...
My current name is Abel Oxford, but after I get adopted by my my parents out there, my future parents, it's going to be Abel Priest, which will be like right after this. So,
Oh.
yeah, bit convenient, but you know.
So when's the adoption happening?
Right after this interview. So yeah, so a bit nervous for both. You know, like.
So did you want me to change the name on sheets to?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, first. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's just a bit, you know.
It's all good.
It came out of nowhere.
Alrighty, are we ready?
Yep.
Alrighty. So just tell me a little about yourself and why you've decided to apply for CMG.
You know, my name's Abel Oxford, soon to be Abel Priest. You know, I'm a Catholic. You know, I used to be a part of the Saints. I'm currently, you know, not with them at the moment. You know, I worship God. You know, all that stuff, all that religious stuff. You know, that's pretty much all I really do. You know, just worship God. And about why I want the job, did you ask as well?
Why you've applied for CMG.
Oh, why I've applied. Okay. You know, I've worked at Valhalla, you know, all these other jobs, and like when I was working at Valhalla, I enjoyed it a lot. And, you know, really liked how things were done. So that's pretty much why I applied for CMG here now.
Okay, so why have you chosen CMG over Valhalla if you liked Valhalla so much?
I want to be honest with you. I got fired, but this was quite a while ago. Yeah, you know, I've been jobless since Valhalla, so that's pretty much why I'm here. Like you know, yeah. Look, all right. I just love selling vehicles, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What was the reasoning again for being fired?
Inactivity. But then again, this was a while ago.
Was that when you were still in the organization, or?
So this was when I wasn't. So I was working at Valhalla, and I was in, you know, Saints at the time.
Yeah.
But
so
I went
like
inactive
I said.
to yeah. And then, you know, after that, yeah. But before that, I was a pretty good worker. You know, I made it up to selling vehicles and all that. But I just, you know, had some time off, and I didn't really.
So
say
now
anything
you're
about it.
able to commit.
CMG will valid.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. What qualities can you bring to CMG then?
You know, I got good communication skills, as you can tell. You know, product knowledge of cars, etc. I'm also, you know, got some good negotiation skill. You know, so I'll be able to get those, you know, those prices boosted. You know.
What do you mean by prices boosted?
Like, you know, like when we sell the vehicles, like I can get the high price out of the customer.
Now whatever price shows now, that's basically it.
Oh, has it changed? Oh.
Yeah. Both Val and CMG are the same now.
Okay, yeah.
Not the same as together, but the same process as in they sell whatever price shows now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it's changed a little bit since I've
Yeah.
worked at Valden.
So, what is your current employment status? Is it
Nothing. I'm unemployed.
okay? How long ago was this position in Valhalla?
Gonna go apply.
I think probably maybe like 5 months ago, probably somewhere around there.
It's quite a while. So, with my next question, apparently you do have car dealing experience.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what you did in Valhalla with that? What experience you've gained?
You know, just talking to customers overall, selling vehicles, just I don't know, I was always there, you know, like I've just, you know, I really, I've learned how to talk to customers, you know, at the time with negotiating skills, like obviously it's not needed now, but you know, I was just at the time, you know, that's what I did. And that's
What
what I've
was your
learned, you know, at
highest position?
highest position. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was I
Was
can't remember
it
the
just
name of the rank.
selling, or was it
I could
selling and buying?
I could sell and buy.
Okay. What would you consider to be some strengths you may possess?
You know, I'm always around pretty much, so I'll be able to work in, like clock